Welcome to the Young Pro Show. My name is David, and our guest here with us on the Young Pro Show is Mack Lewis, who is a young DJ starting off in his music career. But I have no doubt that you're going to be super, super successful. Mack, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
Awesome, Mack. Well, hey, why don't you just start off by sharing a little bit about yourself, what your story is and where you've seen success in your life and kind of how you've done it.
So for those of you, most of you probably don't know me, my name is Mack Lewis. I am 19 years old. I'm from Ottawa, Ontario. I am a DJ and producer. I make my own electronic music mostly, a little bit of everything, but mostly electronic. I started DJing and getting into that scene in about the 9th or 10th grade. A buddy of mine from school, who's now one of my best friends, named George Grandlease, DJ Grandbeats, check him out, Ottawa as well, really got me into it, showed me, the ropes, how to produce, how to DJ, what that whole world's about. Getting into grade 11, 12, into high school, really started getting into it. Bought my first mixer, pair of speakers, all that, the audio stuff. Started making my own music and really pushed that forward. Towards the end of high school, first year of college, I really started. My buddy George there really gave me a lot of contacts into the club world. So we started playing a few shows out there, and right now we're just kind of playing some, consistent shows over the year, making my own music, put out on my SoundCloud, and just kind of starting to grow myself as an artist as for now.
Great stuff. Well, I'm looking forward to where this whole career takes you, Mack.
Thank you.
So right now, with electronic music kind of bumping up, there's a lot of people around the world that are kind of coming out and saying, well, hey, I'm a DJ, and hey, I'm doing this, and I'm going to start producing electronic music. So when you started, did you have a lot of people that were kind of looking at you and saying, whatever, you might just be one of those other DJs that are just saying it? And how did you come to the solution for that, and how did you keep going? How did you persevere through that?
Absolutely. And I think there are a lot of people who just see the dance music scene, they see DJs, and it looks like they're just, to them, they're just standing there, mixing on some tables for a few hours, and that's it. But I can say, from personal experience, my first time making a song, I just put on SoundCloud, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be the biggest thing in dance music, like, people are going to be crazy, blah, 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 and it doesn't, necessarily go anywhere right away. And that's hard for a lot of people, and they kind of start thinking that it's going to be this easy track to success and money and fame and being in the music industry and following these massive, DJs, and the idea of EDM in their head, it's going to be so amazing and so easy, but it's not. And I think a lot of people come out and say that they are, and then realize how hard it actually is. It's still the music industry. And the fact that people think it's so easy, that means there's hundreds of thousands of DJs, of producers out there trying to make their dream become a reality. And I think a lot of people get to a point where they think it's too hard, they think there's too much competition, they think they have to put in too much time, too much effort, and they just, kind of quit. I realized that it does take all that work, but I've pushed myself to a level. I'm not where I want to be, definitely. I would like to keep going for sure. But I realized, playing live to those people, like, that stuff makes me really happy. Producing music that I believe in, that I love, that makes me really happy. And that happiness pushes me to keep going when it's not very easy, because it's not. There's hundreds of thousands of people on SoundCloud trying to get their music heard. But, if you believe in what you're doing, if you're happy with what you're doing, you just got to keep going. And it's not going to be easy every day, and there's going to be a lot of people saying that you can't do it. There's going to be a lot of people who think it's just like a fling, and you're just, whatever, you're just thinking trying to be a DJ, whatever, it's going to fade. But if you got to just keep going, you got to pass that. You got to overcome that mentality.
Well said.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if you're passionate and you really, really believe in what you're doing, it doesn't matter what people say.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter that people are going to come to you and say, hey, you can't do it, because chances are, if they're saying that to you, they're just saying it because, well, they don't have the confidence in their own selves to make it happen for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
100%.
man, I'm so happy that you are taking what you're passionate about and you're actually going out and making it happen. But how are you making yourself different than everything? Because like you said, there's hundreds of thousands of people that are out there that are trying to make it happen in the music world, and especially in the electronic music world. How do you get yourself heard in all the noise that is around?
What I like to do, and what I've planned this for a while now, haven't really executed yet, but I'm just kind of working on an album for myself. And one of the artists that I really look up to in the music industry, not a lot of people know, is their name is GTA. And what GTA does is they don't care about what a genre means. They make music that they love, and they make music of any kind of style. So in EDM, the EDM world is so broad. There's house, there's big room, dubstep, trap, all these amazing genres. But a lot of people and all artists define themselves to one area. And it works because, they appeal to a market, and that very select market likes that music, so they get a pretty significant fan base. But a lot of people like myself love everything. They love going to see a house guy or a dubstep guy or a trap guy. They love all the different kind of music, and I know there's people like me out there, because not everyone likes the same genre of music. They don't want to listen to it for hours and hours and hours.
Right.
So I don't want to define myself by one genre of music. I don't want to sit and just make house for 3 to 5 years. I don't want to sit and just make trap for however long. I want to do everything, and I believe that I'm capable of making everything, and I believe that there's a large market and a large population of people who love all that. So I want to appeal to them, and I want to make something from them that comes from me, but appeals to what they love totally in the world of music, because the world of music is so broad, and I don't want to just be a narrow strip in it.
Right. That's interesting, because you get a lot of people that will always want to focus on the niche. That's not necessarily always the best way to go. I mean, why not be able to appeal to a larger group of people that like you for the variation of music that you play? Yeah. And I think that's important, not just in music, but in business and in anything. If you're, there's a lot of people right now, especially with tech going off the roof and with things like Uber and Airbnb. I think, everywhere I go, I hear people saying, I'm now the Uber of this.
Yeah.
I'm now the Uber of this. I'm the Airbnb of this. Well, why focus yourself into that small direction when you have the ability to broaden yourself in a larger direction and actually appeal to more people, because you're real and you're not just trying to target yourself into a little niche market that might not necessarily be who you are.
Exactly. And I'm looking at myself, the reason that I had this idea and the concept that I want to create this way is I'm looking at festival lineups, right? I love dance music, and I'm trying to go see this artist on this stage because they're trying to focus that they want people who like trap to go see this one, and then there's artists on another stage who are focusing more on the deeper side of things, and there's the main stage, which is the big pop guys. But I like everything.
Right.
I wish I could be at all three of those stages at the same time, but I can't, right? And I know there's a lot of people like that have that problem. They're like, I can't see this because I want to see that experience, but I want to go see that for that different vibe, and I want to be able to create that for people in one show, in one artist, in one hour, just so they can stand there and enjoy everything together.
Amazing. Well said.
Thank you.
You're in school right now, right, Mack?
I am, yes.
And I know from last time we talked that you're doing pretty well in school.
Yeah.
And you always have
one of
been,
my
right?
better academic years. For sure.
Awesome, man. So what I want to ask you is, how do you really balance it with school, right? Because there's a lot of students that are watching this right now that are currently in school, and maybe they want to pursue their entrepreneurial endeavors, they want to pursue their passions, pursue their dreams, but they're having trouble because of the time constraint that school has. So how do you maintain your strong academic average and still keep going on your passions and making your dreams happen?
It's not easy. I'm not going to sit here and say that it is. There are some things, there's that internet thing of you have social life, grades, and work, and you have to pick one of the three, and you can't, you're two of the three, and you're going to have to give up one. In some ways, it's kind of true, because you can't do everything. We are not invincible human beings. There are some things you're going to have to give up. So you have to kind of prioritize. I prioritize what mattered to me the most, and that would be going to school and getting an education and making music. I hang out with my friends. I'm not going to say that I hermit myself in my basement and don't do anything, but you have to prioritize your time and what matters to you the most. So I set my time aside for school. I go to school, I go to class, come home, finish my work, go to work, make some money, come home, and do my music stuff. That's because that's what I prioritize myself to do. And a lot of people, they don't want to give up the partying. They don't want to give up the weekend nights out with their friends, which is cool. I don't want to do that either. I love hanging out with my friends. I love going to shows, Escapade, Blues Fest, all that kind of stuff. But you have to prioritize what matters to you. So you can't do everything. I'd love to be able to do everything, and a lot of people, that is the problem, is everyone wants to be able to do everything, but you just can't. It's unrealistic. So you just have to prioritize what matters to you the most. Right.
Cool thing about being a DJ is you can actually go to these clubs and these festivals and learn while you're there and be like, oh, now that I'm partying and have a good time with my friends, but I can still take a little timbit from this DJ, bring it into my work. That's great, and it's always going to come down to that for students. If you are out there and you want to make something happen and you want to make your dreams happen, you're going to have to give up some stuff that are not going to progress you towards your goals. And it's just the reality of it. So yeah, sure, we're in college and we're in university and this is supposed to be the time in our lives, but wouldn't we rather work our asses off right now for the dreams that we wanted than party and live later? Hey, if we're financially free and we're doing whatever the hell we want and we have our dreams that we're moving forward to every day, If we want to take a plane to Florida, if we want to take a plane to Cuba and go party our asses off, and we've already done it, who cares,
Absolutely.
right? But if anything, this is the time to do it. So what would you say to the student out there who is hesitant, who is kind of like, I don't know if I want to sacrifice it, or I don't know if I want to make it happen. Although he knows that somewhere, he wants to be successful, but he's not sure if he was willing to make the sacrifice. What would you say to the audiences out there who might be in that boat?
There's a lot to say, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm this,
Of course.
I'm going to offer how I see things, but I'm not a, genius by any means. But to people who are looking, who have a hard time prioritizing and setting that time aside, you have to find something that makes you unbelievably happy. I gave a speech earlier this year at school about how a lot of people define the level of success as making a lot of money, as having a nice house and a nice car and stuff. But to me, the idea of success is being so happy with where I am, what I'm doing, and who I'm doing it with, that I want to get out of bed in the morning. That I want to, that I can look myself in the mirror and be honest with myself and tell myself that I love where I am and I'm doing what I want to be doing. And when you find that thing, for me, prioritizing that time isn't hard, because you love what you're doing so much. You know that this is what you want to do with your limited time on this earth, that you have this drive to be the thing that you want to be, and it becomes easier to prioritize. It becomes just a part of your life. And yeah, you're going to have to give up some things that you love doing, but if you love it so much that you go to sleep thinking about it and wake up thinking about it the next morning, it becomes easy to prioritize that.
Incredibly well said.
Thank you.
Steve Jobs said something where he was like, when you wake up and you look in the morning and then you look in the mirror, ask yourself, if today was your last day, would you want to die doing what you're doing today?
Yeah.
So what is that thing that you would die for? What is that thing that you're happy doing, even if you knew that there was no tomorrow?
Absolutely.
So for you, it's making music.
Absolutely.
Incredible.
And that whole making music and just living,
Yeah,
listening to different music and experiencing all that is such a huge part of my life, and it's inspired me and a lot of my family. My whole family loves music, like surrounded with music all the time. So it's really impacted my life and something that's very important to me.
Wow, amazing. Have you always, you were telling me about I would love to be able to share that story with the audience, about the story of the speech that you gave while you were DJing. Do you want to just shed some light to the viewers about that story? Because I think it's a really good story. Okay, cool.
So what happened was, in my final year of high school, my high school has an event every year called the Terry Fox Run. Essentially, it's raise money for cancer research, and we go out on the run, and then we come back and we have an event held at our school. And luckily enough for me, in my last year of high school, it was organized that the student council and the teachers and stuff allowed my friend and I to DJ this event. And I was really lucky in high school. I had a lot of really supportive friends. I had friends that saw what I was doing and saw how passionate I was about it, and were like, that's so good, I'm so happy for you, I want you to succeed. And I was grateful for those people. But just like high school is, there's always that small group of people who are trying to destroy that, who are trying to end your dreams, and be like, it's just a fling, whatever. They kind of made fun of you for DJing. It was wasn't really a big thing in my school anyway. It was only a few people that were interested in it. The time for the Terry Fox Run came around. The event was happening. My buddy and I played. We had the whole school together, listening, singing the music, dancing, jumping in, like anything they wanted to do. We completely united this student body, and it was an amazing time, and it was one of my fondest memories of my life so far. And I didn't hear from a lot of those people before that were saying that were making fun of it, that were saying, it's just DJing, and when I didn't get as successful, I didn't get as many SoundCloud plays or whatever, that they were kind of trying to bring me down and stuff like that. I didn't hear from those people after that, because they saw what that is. They saw what my dream is. They saw what, all the love that is put into that and all the positive energy. They saw that, and they knew that they couldn't say anything anymore. So later on in that year, actually, towards the end of my school year, I believe it was actually the day I finished my last grade 12 exam, I went and played at my old elementary school in Canada. And I was just playing to them. It was great. And I thought of that message, that day, Terry Fox, and how, that was for me, and how I kind of, for lack of a better term, shut those people up. And I was playing, and I just kind of stopped for a second, and I was like, it was the grade sixes, they were going on to high school, which is really intimidating time, and they're going to, kind of find themselves and find what they want to do with their life. And I said, there are going to be people that are going to say that you can't. There are going to be people that are saying that you necessarily won't love what you're doing, won't agree with you, and are going to try and bring you down. But if you love what you're doing, if you're passionate about it, if it's doing nothing but bringing positivity and love back into the world, follow that and see that through, because it will bring you to places that you don't even know exist yet.
Wow.
Because for me, that, like, before the Terry Fox day, I didn't know that was possible. I didn't know I could affect people that way. And when you do, and you play this music and you see the smiles on people's faces and just the love everywhere, like, that's why I do what I do. Wow. And I wanted to explain that.
And you said that while you were playing the music. Yeah. Wow. Did you stop the music?
I kind of, like, looped it and, like, filtered it down so you could hear me, and then brought it back up.
Amazing. Awesome. It's interesting how you will have so many, on the way to success, you're always going to have people, you're always going to have haters. Yep. You're always going to have people that are going to, make fun of you for what you're doing, or say that you can't do it, or say that you're not going to make it. But it's interesting what happens when they start to see your success, and when they start to see you making an impact, and they're like, crap, he's doing it. Crap, she's doing it. And I was wrong. And you're always going to go through it. There's always going to be people that are going to put you down, but as long as you keep going and following your passion, just like what you did, you're going to shut those people up.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing.
So, man, closing things off here, Mac, what are a few tips that you can really leave with the viewers today about how they could start making their dreams happen, and start becoming the person that they want to become?
Kind of summing up what I was saying earlier, right? Like, you have to find what makes you happy. You have to find what makes, your life, give your life meaning, and what you want to do every single day, what makes you happy to wake up in the morning. You have to find that and work every single day for that, because it will show you the greater sides of life and will show you what you can become as a person. And as I was saying with that story that we talked about, like, there will be people who don't agree with that and don't see your vision and don't see what you can do and want to bring you down. But if you love what you're doing so much, if you put positive energy into that all the time, the world will give you that positivity back. And it's not always easy, and it's not going to be the easiest journey, but it's worth it if it's something that really, really matters to you. So it's not going to be, as I said, I'm kind of repeating myself here, but it's not easy. But find what you love, do it every single day, and if you put positivity into the world will give you that positivity back.
Fantastic. It's worth it.
It is, absolutely. Every single day.
It. So last question, Mac, who is one person that you would recommend to be on the Young Pro Show, man, and why?
The first person that comes to my mind is my friend from high school, one of the people that supported me mostly. It was my buddy Adam Melito. He currently attends Queen's University for Commerce. He is easily one of the most dedicated people I've ever seen in my life. Huge inspiration on me. We met when I was probably 7 or 8 years old, and I've known him since. Great guy, one of the best people I've ever met. Very genuine, real. His drive to want to be successful and do what he loves, and when he gets a goal in his head and he realizes that's what I want to do and that's what I want to be, his ability to pursue that is unbelievable. And it shocks me and so many others. And I believe he is, moving forward in life, going to be one of the most successful people I've ever met.
Fantastic. Well, we look forward to having him on the Young Pro Show. Aside from that, Mac, thank you for coming on to the Young Pro Show today. It was a pleasure to have you. I know you brought some incredible content to all the young people that are out there wanting to make their dreams happen. Guys, remember to subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and stay tuned for the next episode of the Young Pro Show. Take care.